Hey Jeanette, what's up? It is now 12:54 a.m. in Jamaica. It says here, correspondence dated October 3rd, 2025. Opposition leader Mark Golding, MP, right, to Prime Minister, the most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness, on ONPC MP. It says here, Office of the Leadership of Opposition, right? Dear Mr. Holness, I write in response to your letter on September 30th. I want to state from the start that I really want us to finish what we started towards Jamaica's full independence. This means leaving the British monarch as head of state and the British monarch's Privy Council as the final court of appeal. So our constitution does not come from an order in council of the British monarch anymore. At your swearing-in ceremony at King's House, you said something like, Mark, in quotation, Mark, let's partner together to complete the work we started in Jamaica, in making Jamaica a republic. Mark Golding says, I welcome those words because they match the reality that the government doesn't have a two-thirds majority, does not have a two-thirds majority in either House of Parliament. This makes it even more necessary for Jamaica's two major political parties to work together if you are going to reform the constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, even with the two-thirds majority, Andrew Holness government could not have legally reformed the constitution. You know why? The constitution protects itself from anarchy and dictatorship. It is structured in such a way that reform can only happen when both parties actually come together and agree upon what is going to be changed. The other thing I want you guys to notice, Mark Golding mentioned the swearing in and what Andrew Holness said in the swearing in. Let's partner together. So he's making sure I remember what you said. All right, you said that. You was being sly with it. You was throwing shade. But look where you are right now. In the first paragraph, Mark Golding made these demands. 1, we have to leave the British monarch as head of state. 2, the British monarch Privy Council cannot be our final court of appeal. All right? So our constitution does not come from order in council of the British monarch anymore. Why is this a checkmate? Let me tell you. Andrew Holness can ill afford to move away from the monarch. Andrew Holness is a part of the Privy Council. And Mark Golding is not going to agree to the final court being a final court of appeal in Jamaica. He's not. Mark Golding is not slow. Mark Golding is not stupid. With the level of corruption that's in Jamaica, we have to have a non-partisan court of appeal. Not one that Andrew and his minions and the people behind him can even try to collude and corrupt in swinging things in their way in any way, shape, or form. So right now, Andrew Holness is being set up, Andrew Holness is being set up. Again, he's a part of the Privy Council. He's not going to want to move away from the monarch. So you see this thing about working together? He knows that he cannot pull one over the eyes of Mark Golding when it comes to legislation. Mark Golding reads, and he's brilliant. You're not going to put something in there that he's not going to see any funny business or any angles that you might have or any loopholes. Because they have loopholes when it comes down to law, right? They have loopholes in constitutions and stuff like that. They have loopholes in the wording of legal documents. And I'm telling you, Mark Golding is feared by the Jamaica Labour Party because of that. Next thing, it goes on to say, I agree that the only way we will succeed in this reform is through real collaboration, like past political leaders did. For example, when debating the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms in 2010, the Prime Minister Bruce Golding said we need to work together on reform because the Constitution requires it, right? Also, on December 2nd, 2021, former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson wrote to you saying the solution to constitutional reform requires unity of purpose and action going beyond partisan lines. So Mark Golding just gave him 2 examples, one of the opposition and one of somebody that led his party, Bruce Golding, and both agree that the only way they can actually do any type of constitutional reform is by coming together. Now look at this. He goes on to say, this approach fits the Jamaican democratic history. When Jamaica was transitioning from colonial status to independence, N.W. Manley, right, Norman Washington Manley, and Sir Alexander Bustamante worked together, just like P.J. Patterson and Edward Seaga did. The big constitutional reform talks in the 1990s, right? That's what they were basically. That's what P.J. and Edward Seaga was doing. The big constitutional reform in the 1990s. Accordingly, it is you and I, as the leader of Jamaica's two major political parties, who must establish a basis for a required partnership if the reform process is not to become another exercise in futility. What does that mean? If you don't do it the right way, Andrew Holness, you will not see, or Jamaica will not see, a constitutional reform under the Jamaica Labour Party. It will be an exercise in futility. Them cannot go around the Constitution, you know? They cannot go around the Constitution. It says here, therefore, in furtherance of your expressed aspiration of partnership quoted above, I was expecting an invitation to meet with you to discuss the way forward as a first step. So Mark Golden is saying, he expected Andrew Holness to meet with him face to face, to have a man-to-man discussion, a leader-to-leader discussion, and show respect in regards to this constitutional reform situation. Ladies and gentlemen, this did not materialize. Yes? Now, it says here, however, in your letter, on the reply, you have proposed that I meet with the Minister of Justice. He says, can you imagine? Andrew Holness is telling the leader of the opposition to meet with the Minister of Justice in regards to having discussion for having constitutional reform. Let me tell you, Jamaica, Mark Golden is a general. Mark Golden is smart. You know what this is? Documented evidence of same. Because let me tell you what the Jamaica Labour Party is going to do. Continue to try to blame the PNP for not cooperating with them. Andrew Holness is disrespectful. Andrew Holness is telling the man to go meet with the Minister of Justice. He is not respecting Mark Golden enough to have a sit down with him. Andrew Holness is carrying feelings because Mark Golden called him out for him corruption and his statutory declaration. Andrew Holness win the election and he's still carrying feelings, but he went on stage to act as if he is for Jamaica. Andrew Holness is only for himself. He cannot even move past his own fickle feelings about the campaign of the People's National Party in regards to his statutory declaration and in being somebody that cannot be trusted. Period. A style Mark Golden. So Mark Golden said, with respect, Prime Minister, that approach will not initiate the required partnership of which we speak. So Mark Golden is letting me know. Let me tell you something. If you don't show me any respect, your aspiration of some type of partnership where this government and the opposition is concerned, it will not happen, especially when we're dealing with the constitutional reform. So ladies and gentlemen, as much as all them have them plans to republic, ain't gonna happen, Captain. I can tell you that right now, because I am guaranteeing you, Andrew Holness will not swallow his pride and meet with Mark Golden. He will not. He won't. He said, so Mark Golden continues to say, I therefore invite you to reconsider the matter in light of what I am suggesting in this letter and looking forward to hearing from you presently. Given that your embrace of partnership was expressed in a public speech, I will be making this letter public as my response to that exhortation. Yo, let me tell you something, man. Checkmate. Listen, how many of you play chess? How many of you play chess? This was a checkmate. Mark Golden is not to be played with. Two things in this is a checkmate. One, a few things are a checkmate. The last thing he just said, oh, I'm going to let everybody know that this is your stance. We're going to make this letter public. I am going to make this letter public. I am putting it on record that anybody that is to be blamed for exercising futility where the reform process is concerned is you, Andrew Holness, because you refuse to even have a respectable sit down with Mark Jefferson Golding. And because you violate at your swearing in and you were throwing shots and exalting yourself, I am going to make this letter public. Listen to me. Those two moves. Checkmate. Checkmate. You hear what I said? I'm telling you, Mark Golding just ended this man's political career. Because one of his moves, you know, one of Andrew Holness' moves, you know, is to become president. Or have somebody he can control to become president when Jamaica become a republic. He was banking on that. That's why Marlene Malahou Fort, when she was responsible for constitutional reform, was making suggestions that they can get things done before the Christmas break and by January, February, because they know elections was coming up. They want to remove impeachment and all other manners of things, keep the Privy Council. Mark Golding say, hell no, it's not happening. It's not happening, not under my watch. As long as I'm leader of the opposition, it will not happen. You see how important it is, ladies and gentlemen, for us to have leadership with integrity. Andrew Holness don't want the opposition. Andrew Holness does not respect the opposition. Andrew Holness does not respect Mark Golding. He will not even sit down with the man and have a conversation about how they're going to move forward respectfully where the constitutional reform is concerned. Right? Mark Golding letting him know, listen, this is what we need to do. We have to include the people. That way, boom, 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 boom. So this is what I suggest. And then Andrew Holness can give him rebuttal or say, yeah man, you know, I agree with that, cool, cool, cool. Have a sit down. Right? Have a sit down. Yo, can you imagine if Andrew Holness, if Jamaica was a country where we could have used force, Andrew Holness would be in some type of conflict with some country somewhere around the world in a jippy, just like that, because of his ego. Huh? Mark Golding is willing to sit with him, but he's sending Mark Golding to the Minister of Justice. How disrespectful. Mark Golding and the People's National Party, him violate, you know? Him try to style the man, you know? But Mark Golding too smart. Mark Golding put out the letter publicly and make everybody know, say, brother, me I expose you. When it come out to constitutional reform, you don't have any more arguments. If you don't want to sit with the leader, that means you don't want partnership. Partnership does not include you ghosting the opposition leader. Partnership means you sit down and meet physically. You live in the same country, goddammit. You're not too busy. I don't care what you're talking about. Right? And the other thing that is going to make sure that he never sees constitutional reform, Rosie, we know that, man. One thing that we're going to make sure that we never see constitutional reform under the JLP is they don't want to leave the British monarch. They don't. So this right here, this Mark Golding making this letter public, oh, it's over. I'm telling you right now. He has put all the arrows on Andrew Holness government. He has directed all the arrows that Andrew Holness thought he was going to direct on the PMP, like they did with Marlene Malahou Fort, to suggest that, oh, it's not our fault, it's the PMP. Mark Golding just turned all those arrows, and they are accelerating towards Andrew Holness government very quickly. And the only way he can stop it is to actually drop his ego and meet with Mark Golding. And he cannot drag his feet about it. If he doesn't meet with Mark Golding soon, it means he has no interest. Because this letter is dated October 3rd. The latest he can have a meeting with Mark Golding is after October 13th. Because he will have some type of excuse to say, well, you know, I'm dealing with the case for the Integrity Commission. But Lord have mercy, Andrew, you have it on you, know. Boy, you take up some things, man. You have it on you, know, man. You have Zulika just in a government skin boat about Mr. Archer Dixon, right? You have her in our skin boat all these extrajudicial killings. You have Mr. Isaac in our skin, right? You have the Mr. Dwayne Vaz down there getting on with it. on to business, using up his social media as he always does to give light. No, Mark Golden, no, that, yo, Mr. Mark Golden beat and teach them guys of security. Believe when me tell you that letter, you know, normal. The man have it on him Instagram and you can go look. And we should name Tina Times actually took the time out and actually rewrite it on our our Facebook, and I see it and I say, hold on there, I start reading. I say, wait, Mark Golden to Andrew Holness. What is the letter about? What is this letter about? And I read the context of this letter and I said, no, Mr. Golden, you are a cheeky fellow. You are a cheeky fellow. The man say your letter. The man say to Andrew Holness, say, however, in your letter under reply, you have proposed that I meet with the Minister of Justice. With respect, Prime Minister, that approach will not, and I repeat, will not initiate. What does initiate mean? It will not start the required partnership of which we speak. No, nah go happen. No partnership nah go start if you think say you are gonna tell me say for me with no Minister of Justice. To hell with you, Andrew Holness. That are how them would have said in our country. Where Mark Golden just say are that. You know, in a sense, man. You see me? This me a style me. If you come tell me about meet with Minister of Justice. You know, see me a blurt not leader for your party. How you take me for? Eh? You take me for some small, some smallers. This my boy. Go ahead. That Mark Golden said to him, you know, in the most respectful way. Me I tell you, brother, me I tell you guys of security. Right? Him done him, man. The man said, in furtherance of your expression, guys, remember Andrew Holness publicly say, yeah man, Mark Golden can we partner. So Mark Golden just go public now and say, brother, yo, I chat. You don't want to partner up, bro. You just a talk. Because if you didn't want to partner up, you could have never tell me, say, if you go meet with the Minister of Justice. When me I tell you, say, come we meet and talk. When me and you talk, you go talk to your Minister of Justice. And if you want the Minister of Justice to do, they can bring them come to. But you for there, you are the leader. Me not have a conversation with the Minister of Justice. Me need your commitment as the leader of the party. Hey, Andrew faced in a blur, not still enough. Him ranking up. Oh my God, someone in no manners. In no manners, the man can't feel in same way, bro. Look at you. The man said at the swearing ceremony at King's House, you said something like, Mark, let's partner together. The man never say, Mr. Mark Golden, you know. Now letter, how you doing? Now letter just coming in. Who want me read the letter again? Me not have a problem, you know. Me not have no problem. Who want me read the letter again? Talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah, now I read the letter again. So when I get that, ladies and gentlemen, that's my reaction to the letter where Mark Golden put out. You understand? My thoughts about it. You know, what I read into it. So let me know what you guys think. You understand? Blessings.